Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be doing another controversial tier list. In this case we are doing Generation 4. So again, if you haven't watched the other tier list videos, we are going to be doing S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, then NA. NA is for like Pokemon that have been released in Pokemon Go. And then as well for Pokemon that are too low in CP. We're going to be evaluating the Pokemon based off of their uses to date, which is November 3rd, 2020, in Go Battle League, in Silph Arena, in Draft, in Go Team Up, in a number of different formats. And S tier is for the very best Pokemon in that particular list. In this case, Generation 4 Pokemon. Very few Pokemon will achieve that ranking, probably like 3 or 4 in this generation. A tier are Pokemon that are meta. They could have been very good in one of the Go Battle leagues, in Great League or in Ultra League or in Masters, or they could be decent in many different formats, in Silph and in GBL, etc., etc. B tier is like they're usable. They're definitely not the meta-defining Pokemon or one of the first choices for Pokemon that you would use in a particular cup or meta, but they certainly can be used. And then C tier is for all the Pokemon that most people wouldn't use or wouldn't think about using either. So now that we got that established, I also have Game Press, so shout out to them, their list of CPs, so that way hopefully no one will write in the comments, XYZ Pokemon goes above 1500, and I'm not including not Baby Cup, Little Cup, or Kanto, or any of the Season 5 stuff, because we haven't done it yet, and we don't know exactly how the meta goes. But let's go ahead and get started. Turtwig only goes to 1187 according to this list, so it's too low. Grottle, I'm going to put into B tier. It is usable as part of, I guess the most standard or known use is part of the Grass Hole, basically Bastion double Razor Leafer teams, an alternative Razor Leafer. So obviously you could use a number of different Razor Leafer, Cherum, Grottle, typically Shadow Grottle. Torterra has pretty unique typing in Grass and Ground. It is one of the very few Pokemon that resist all of Galarian Stunfist's standard moveset that it uses in Great League, which is Mud Shot, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. But it's not too crazy to use. Chimchar, too low, only goes to 957. Monferno, I've never seen someone use it. Infernape, the only time I've seen someone use it is Mystic 7, and it was actually pretty interesting. Fire Spin, Close Combat, and Blast Burn, but I haven't seen too much use after that. Piplup is too low, 1075 CP. Prinplup, I was like fusing those two names. I was going to put it into C tier. And the high tier is C tiers. You could put it into B tier. It's certainly not crazy to use. It has a decent moveset. Bubble Beam, Icy Wind, stuff like that. And then like Ice Beam, or I can't remember its other movesets. Empoleon, I'm going to put into A tier. It is a very solid A tier Pokemon. It is used in Ultra League, Ultra Premier. Those are probably the two more prominent leagues, as well as used in some Silph Arena Cups in the past because of its Water Steel typing. And as well, it has some use in Masters Premier, but has kind of fallen off because of the rise of counter users. We have Starly, which only maxes at 719 CP. So let's go ahead and move that down there. Starveria, or however you say it, too low. Staraptor has like some interesting moves, but not too commonly used. Bidoof, sorry to disappoint everyone, is too low. Bibarel, I'm going to put into B tier. It has pretty interesting moveset. It's been used at least one Silph Arena Cup. It has Water Gun, Surf, Hyper Fang, and Hyper Beam, so not too bad. And then Kricketot is too low. Cricketune, never seen someone use it. Shinx is too low at 876 CP, and then Luxio, I'm gonna put them Luxio and Luxray into C tier. I think they're decent. Their stat distribution, they have decent movesets, good moveset I would say, but they have a very poor stat distribution. Badoo, obviously way too low. Roserade it's a it has a very high attack, but and Razor Leaf, but unfortunately that is not enough. Cranidos technically has high enough CP, so I'm gonna put into C tier. Same thing with Rampardos. Shieldon, I'm gonna put into NA because it only goes to 890. Bastodon, I'm gonna put it to A tier for right now. Mostly because I think there are gonna be Pokemon. I said I'm only gonna have 3 or 4 Pokemon in S tier. Bastodon is definitely a very high A tier and maybe a very low S tier. Some people might disagree with me. It is very good in Great League, and was one of the most dominating Pokemon before more Pokemon came and countered it. But once Registeel was gone, also Burmese are too low. Wormadam, anything that's not Wormadam trash is absolutely trash. Well, they're okay, but they just haven't found use in the cups. Bug typing is not that great in the current metas, and then Wormadam trash at saving grace is definitely Silpharina cups where applicable, and then as well in a Halloween cup, and then this is not very good. Combi, actually put here, Combi's too low. Vesta Queen I'm gonna put into B tier. Pachirisu, it's usable, but it's very low. It doesn't come that close to maxing to 1500, but its moveset and the fact that most of its CP is in defensive bulk stats does make it have a higher stat proc than a lot of other Pokemon at 1200 CP. Weasel, which is why I include it in the C tier as opposed to in the NA, because it's able to utilize more of its CP. Floatzel is obviously not good. Cherubi is not too low. I think this is Cherum Overcast, which is not good. And then Cherum Sunshine is definitely in A tier, I guess. Bottom of A tier, top of B tier. We'll see. Shellos, too low. And then Gastrodon is okay. I'm actually going to put in the bottom of B tier. Its typing is obviously very good. Water ground, only weak to double weak to grass. It has no other weaknesses. And it's a good ground attacker, but it's not very flexible since it has that mud slap fast move. It does have body slam and earth power, which is a very useful moveset. But it definitely gets outclassed by like Swampert and by other mud boys. Ambipom is absolutely terrible. I'm gonna just go down here. Drifloon is obviously too low. Drifblim I'm gonna put into A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put into A tier. It's very useful in Great League, in certain cups, Silpharina cups, good in draft. It's also good in Ultra Premier. Yeah, I would say that. And then obviously we have Baneri here. Lupini, not good. Mismagius, not good. Honchkrow, into B tier. It has some use. It's not too crazy to use. It has use in Ultra Premier, basically. Glameow and Purugly. Purugly I'm going to put into C tier. Higher end of C tier. I'm not going to order them. It does have a really interesting moveset. Its stat product is just not that great. And then you have Chingling, which is not good enough. Stunky, which is too low. Skunk Tank I'm going to put into B tier as well. I don't know. I'll reorder S, A, and B maybe. Maybe not B. Bronzor, if this was after the Little Cup, it would be automatic S tier because it is definitely the most dominating Pokemon in any cup to date, relative to its cup. But unfortunately, we haven't experienced that yet. Bronzor, I'm also going to put into B tier. Let's see here. Bonsly, I'm going to put too low. Even though technically you could use it, I've never seen someone use it in a competitive format. Mime Jr., Happiny, Chatot. Let's not chat too much about that Pokemon that is actually in C tier, not in NA. And I did that before someone could correct me. Spiritomb, I'm also gonna put into C tier. You could argue it's like low B tier. Gible, too low. Gabite, I'm gonna put into C tier. It has some interesting moves, but stats are not that great. For Great or Ultra League, Garchomp, I'm definitely putting in A tier. It's only in Masters Premier, a little bit in Open Masters, but not really too much more. And it's not like one of the meta-defining Pokemon. It is very good. It is very good, but I think like Dragonite, for example, is a more common dragon than Garchomp. It also has to compete with Haxorus. If more people had access to Haxorus, maybe you'd see a little bit less use of Garchomp. I think it's amazing. I don't think I can put it in S tier though. And also it doesn't have Munchlax. I'm gonna definitely put it into A tier. It is very good in Memory Cups. It's very good in Great League. Yeah, it has a long history in Silpharina. Riolu, too low. Riolu goes to 993. Lucario. I put an A tier. It's definitely fallen off quite a bit. It had some really great use in Ultra League in Season 1 and 2. Then Cresselia just became a little bit too popular. Mega Lucario obviously not applicable. Hippopotas is I'm gonna put into C tier. I've never seen someone use it before though. And then Hippowdon, I'm gonna put it top of B tier. I'm gonna put it not top of B tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Definitely usable. Has some use in mostly Masters Premier. Scorpy, too low. Drapion, I'm also gonna put into. It's had a decent amount of use in Sylph. It has some use in Draft. It's not. I'll put it in bottom of B tier for now. Krogon, I'm gonna put too low. It only goes to 952. Toxicroak. Okay, Toxicroak is definitely A tier. Higher up on the A tier. It's been the meta-defining Pokemon in a lot of different cups. In Twilight, it's been very useful in Nightmare. It's also had use in Open, in Draft, and in Great League. It was part of House Stark 93's, I think it was Season 2, first rank 10 team. It's also good in Ultra League, Ultra Premier, I should say. So I think it's definitely up there. It might even be S tier. I think it's the top of A tier. I think it's the top of A tier. It's not as in GBL. It's not as dominating as Garchomp is. Like Garchomp is probably like, let's say the 5th or 6th best Pokemon in Masters Premier. Some people might disagree with me. Like I think Metagross is number 1. You know, Dragonite, Togekiss, Magnezone, you could interchange them, and then Haxorus, Garchomp, I think are interchangeable in terms of their overall usefulness in the meta. You could also argue Gyarados, Snorlax, like Machamp. Like there's a lot of other Pokemon that are kind of like vying for that, like knocking on the door of the absolute core center of the meta. Carnivine, I've never seen someone use it. While Toxicroak has been useful in many different Silpharina Cups, it's been the number 1 Pokemon, or top 2 Pokemon in probably like 2 or 3 cups. It's also very useful in Great League, very useful in Ultra Premier. I think it's definitely deserving of its top of A tier, maybe a little higher. Too low, not that good. Not too low as well. Snover, too low. Abomasnow, I'm gonna put into A tier. It's buffed in Powder Snow, and getting access to Weather Ball makes it one of the most useful Pokemon in Great League. It's definitely very good in Ultra Premier. Maybe not as useful in Ultra Premier as is in Great League, mostly because it doesn't max close enough to 2500, but I think it's still very good. Weavile, not that good. It has a pretty interesting moveset, just too glassy. Magnezone, definitely way up there. I don't know exactly where yet. I guess similar to Garchomp. Garchomp the only thing is Garchomp does have a little bit more play in Master League. In season 1, it was definitely usable. Licky, I'm going to put into B tier for sure. Definitely higher up on B tier. It had some historical use in Ultra League, in Silverina Cups. It's decent in Great League, that kind of stuff. Rhyperior, man, you make this very similar case. But the thing is, like, Rhyperior had its day in, like, Season 1 and Season 2 in Go Battle League, and then as well in, like, 1 Cup in Sylph. But besides that, it's, like, definitely fallen off in use. I think it's still very good, but with the rise of Kyogre and Groudon in Open Masters, it's definitely fallen off quite a bit. Tangrowth, I definitely put it into B tier. Its bread and butter is definitely in Ultra Premier. It's also had some use in some Silphrina Cups. Its moveset is very interesting. Electivire, not good. It's actually definitely in the higher end of C tier. It's usable in Masters Premier, but it's very glassy, and I think, it has some use in. Maybe I'm gonna put it into B tier. Actually, let's put it into B tier. Togekiss, definitely way up there. Very good in. It might be S tier. Let's keep going actually before I put in S tier. Yanmega, too low, or not too low, not good enough. Glaceon, I'm gonna put into bottom of B tier. It's kind of an off meta. It's like the top of off meta picks. It's not crazy to use. I'm gonna put it at the top of C. No, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B. Put it at the bottom of B. Gliscor, I'm gonna put it at B tier as well. It has some use in some Silphrina Cups. It has some use in Ultra League, Ultra Premier, I should say. Not too crazy though, but it's not too crazy that someone would use it. Mamoswine, I'm gonna put into B tier as well. Mostly because it has some use in Open Masters, has use in Masters Premier. Maybe it has a better case than some of these other Pokemon. You know what, I'm gonna put it in the bottom of A tier. It's hard for me to justify, but we'll see. Gallade, I'm gonna put into A tier as well. Oh man. It's very good in Ultra Premier. It also has some use in Great League. It also has some use in some Silphrina Cups. Its typing is super interesting. Man. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Probopass, I'm going to put into A tier as well. It's not that good in GBL, mostly because there's other tanks that are available, but it was very useful in many Silphrina Cups and still has some use in Great League. Over time, it might slip down to B tier as people forget about the cups that it's useful in, but it definitely has a lot of history. Dusknoir, not good. Froslass, I'm going to put it to A tier. It's not that good in Go Battle League. It definitely can have some use, but it's very glassy. But it is very good in so many Silphrina Cups. It's very useful in draft. It's probably one of the most underrated Pokemon to draft in Great League. It has a very good moveset, Powder Snow, Avalanche, and Shadow Ball. All three of them having Stab. All three of them very good. And Froslass is, it's Ice Ghost typing. Is it crazy good? Does it have crazy synergy? Probably not, but it could have worse typing. Rotom Wash, not that good. It has a very interesting moveset, but it's too glassy. The Lake Trio, just trio on your way to rank C. Dialga is for sure an S tier. It is the most dominating Pokemon. It is the most used Pokemon in any individual meta to date. When there's entire teams where all three of the Pokemon are designed to beat it, or you run it, is basically your options, then you know it's the most meta defining Pokemon. I know it's oftentimes not ranked number one in on PvPoke, but if you ask anybody what's the best Pokemon in Masters, they might say Mewtwo, but a lot of people would say Dialga, and Dialga is just absolutely amazing in Masters. Doesn't mean it can't be beat. and it certainly has its checks against Pokemon that are very good. You know, like Malmetal, for example, like Groudon as another example. But it feels like whenever you have a Dialga, and there's always at least some play possible. Palkia, you put in B tier. It's I wish it was a little bit better in Masters, but it's a very like an off meta pick for sure. Same thing with Heatran. It definitely had its day in season 1, but after that, not very good. Regigigas, not very good. Giratina Altered. Oh man, I think you got to put Giratina Altered into S tier. In season 1, it was definitely the very best Pokemon in Ultra League. It was very good in Masters. I think it was probably the most underrated Pokemon in Open Masters. It was good. It was so good that they nerfed 3 moves to put it into check. Think about that. Like, they nerfed Ancient Power, therefore they had to nerf Ominous Wind and Silverwind. Poor Silverwind, right? Was the victim of how dominant Giratina Altered was. Like, that's absolutely insane. Like, it's probably the number 2 Pokemon in Open Ultra after Cresselia. You might argue number 3 after Swampert. But since Registeel nerf, I would say in season 2, is that when Cresselia got the buff? Or maybe it was season 3. No, season 2 is when Cresselia. Maybe it was season. Oh man, whatever season it was where Cresselia got a buff, that made Giratina probably drop down to 3rd most important, and then bumped up Cresselia and Registeel fighting out for the number 1 spot. Then Registeel got nerfed, and Registeel is obviously still amazing, but then it got bumped down, and Giratina moved up. And if Giratina Altered ever comes to the Great League, I think it'll be absolutely amazing. Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw is really good. Its bulk is amazing. Its typing is very good. Like, I think it would be an absolute nightmare, and definitely, I think it's deserving of the S tier because it was the meta-defining Pokemon. It is the number 2 Pokemon in Open Ultra. It is the top 7 Pokemon in Open Masters, and probably one of the most underrated Pokemon again in Open Masters. Is there another Pokemon that's more underrated that is useful than Giratina Altered? You can let me know down in the comment section below. Giratina Origin, I'm definitely putting into A tier. I think it's slightly more useful than Altered in Open Masters, but it's way less useful in Open Ultra. It's never been as dominant as Giratina Altered was in season 1 of Ultra League. It's definitely one of those Pokemon that is either the top of A tier or the lower part of S tier. Cresselia, man, there's no doubt you can put Cresselia into S tier. I don't know the order, but Cresselia is good in Draft. It's good in Great League. It's a little bit less good because of Stunfisk and Registeel and that kind of stuff. But it's the number 1 Pokemon in Open Ultra. I don't think I think it's the number 1 Pokemon in Open Ultra. And the thing is, like, it can almost beat all its counters, right? Like, it has Moonblast, which is an absolutely incredible move. And before it got nerfed, its Moonblast got nerfed, it literally had a chance. If you had a Cresselia, you felt like you had a chance against virtually any Pokemon in the meta, as long as you got that Moonblast nerf debuff early on and you kept spamming it. People were spamming Moonblast debuffs when it made absolutely no sense to, and it worked out for them because they got the attack debuff. It's the tankiest Pokemon that's usable. It absolutely made Armor Mewtwo almost extinct in Open Ultra because of how good it was. Like, a Pokemon that was, bound to be absolutely amazing. It got Psystrike, all that stuff, right? Really bulky, good coverage moves, and it basically went extinct because of Cresselia. That's like how amazing Cresselia is. Darkrai, I'm gonna put into C tier. So now the difficult part. So I'm comfortable with these 3 Pokemon as S tier. They're either the most dominating Pokemon in their meta, or they were, and they've been into many of them. I think I'm going to just put them as S tier. Giratina Origin, you could definitely argue as S tier. It is definitely one of the meta-defining Pokemon in Open Masters. But I just don't think it's as good as these three. Its history is not as dominating. It's definitely more reliable than Altered, and probably used more than Altered in Open Masters, but it's used way less in Ultra League. I think I feel comfortable with this. I think I'd put it top of A tier though. Maybe Togekiss is higher. Maybe okay. Ooh, okay. Togekiss. I think you gotta put Togekiss S tier. People may disagree with me. Togekiss, top 3 Pokemon. You could say minimum top 5 Pokemon in Masters Premier. Top 10 Pokemon in Open Masters. Top 10 Pokemon in Open Ultra. Still usable in Ultra Premier. It's been used in some Silpharina Cups. Its typing is unique. Does flying synergize with Fairy that much? That's very much debatable. Yeah. I think I think it's S tier. Okay. Okay, now time to reorder these in S tier. I'm gonna probably move some of these down to B tier. Okay, so for sure S tier. A tier. These six. So Origin, Toxicroak, Garchomp, Magnezone, Bastiodon, Empoleon. I think even in that order is appropriate. Maybe you put Bastiodon higher up because Bastiodon has had more use in Silpharina Cups. It's maybe not as dominating in its tier. And then as well, Magnezone. Magnezone actually is really good in Ultra Premier, which is something that Garchomp doesn't have. Controversial. This swap here is controversial. A Bastiodon beating a ground type, that is super controversial. But I think I feel okay about that. These ones, like... Okay. Onwards here, these are all very usable Pokemon in their tier. I think Munchlax... I don't want to have too much recency bias, though, right? Like... Man. Yeah. Like that? Yes. Okay. Oh, man. This is tough. I would say I would be okay if someone said these 5 should be an A tier. B tier, I should say. I'd be fine with that. I think Drifblim is too good now to be in B tier. I think it's the most underrated Pokemon. And maybe it'll be used a little bit more because you have to max it and you have to have the 100%. I think it's an absolutely amazing Pokemon to have in Ultra Premier. It's very good in Great League as well. Yes, yeah. Let's go with that. Okay, so here's my list. Let me know what you agree with. I think Giratina Origin. Some people are gonna say you have to put in S tier. Totally get that. Some people might think I'm overrating Toxicroak. I think Toxicroak is absolutely amazing and deserves a place at the top of A tier. It's knocking on the door of S tier. Magnezone, amazing. Bastiodon, amazing. Garchomp, amazing. Empoleon, just typing so good. Its moveset's so good. Puts on so much fast move pressure, which is very rare in Ultra Premier to have a Pokemon with that much fast move pressure. Yeah, and it's like with Dropek, I think it makes its case for sure. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. this is my Generation 4 tier list. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and let me know what other tier lists that you want me to tier. Happy to do it. And anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.